It's like looking in a mirror.
I see only my cracked reflection.
Then I'll blind you to end your pain.
Ed Boon has announced on Twitter that we are getting a third variation for competitive and ranked and tournament. So we are getting a third tournament variation for every character in a future MK11 patch. He didn't say when, he just said we are getting it. They're working on it. So I can't wait to see what we're gonna get for Sub-Zero. So I decided to come up with a variation that it's probably going to be, I'm 95% sure this will be the next tournament variation for Sub-Zero. Here is the full list of abilities for Sub-Zero: Creeping Ice, Ground Ice, Cold Shoulder, Rising Ice, Frigid Storm, Deathsicle Barrage, Air Polar Axe, Arctic Trap, Deep Freeze. Okay, cool. So Creeping Ice allows you to create distance between you and your opponent by spending a barometer amplifying. So that will go perfect with another ability, but we're going to get back to that. Ground Ice is a busted move and it's broken. There is no way that move is going to be in a tournament variation. So don't expect Ground Ice to be there. That move is broken. Like, it is tedious, and there's no way that's going to be a tournament variation ability. Cold Shoulder is already being used by Dead of Winter. Now Rising Ice, well, I don't think that's going to be in the tournament variation either, and the reason is because what if you got hit by this? Okay, so I don't think this is going to be a tournament variation ability. Look how much damage it does to begin with. Look at that. And then also, if you think about it, he has the Ice Ball as a combo extender to begin with. And he has the back 3-2 slide in the corner as well. Frigid Storm, Deathsicle Barrage, and Air Polar Axe. These are all three of these make one variation of a competitive variation for Sub-Zero, which is the Thin Ice variation. I highly doubt NetherRealm is going to reuse abilities for another variation. So from one variation in another one, I don't think they're gonna make another. They're gonna do that at all. So I'm cancelling Cold Shoulder, Frigid Storm, Deathsicle Barrage, Polar Axe, and Deep Freeze. Cancelling these out. They're already being used. They won't be used. So that leaves us with Arctic Trap, Rising Ice, Creeping Ice, and Ground Ice. I have labeled Ground Ice imbalanced. As you probably know by now, I've labeled Rising Ice imbalanced as well. So that leaves us with Creeping Ice and Arctic Trap. So this has got to be, this right here is definitely gotta be the next tournament variation for Sub-Zero. It has to be. It cannot be anything else. There's no way. It has to be this. It goes perfectly. The Creeping Ice creates the distance. You pull out the Arctic Trap. It's perfect. This is why I recommend you guys start practicing with this in custom variations in casual 1v1s online. Start practicing Arctic Trap and Creeping Ice. Both abilities are more balanced than the other ones, the other two remaining ones, Ground Ice and Rising Ice. As much as I think these two abilities go perfectly with each other. It adds a brand new depth to Sub-Zero. Imagine you get hit by this.
Getting colder.
Wow.
Spineless.
The possibilities are endless. That is crazy broken, but I think NetherRealm is going to do some kind of damage nerf to Sub-Zero before they roll out this as a tournament variation. But it's got to be these two. Whatever it is, I'm going to start practicing these two abilities. This combination of abilities. This looks funny. Arctic Trap, in my opinion, is a balanced move, if you ask me. The reason why, it does control the pace of the match, which I mean, MK11 is supposed to be kind of slow, so it doesn't make no difference there. So the startup of it is 41, as you can see. 41 frames startup, and recovery is 20 and 25. Honestly, I have used this this ability online before. All the players hit me out of it. Like 70% of the time, players are hitting me straight out of it. So basically, while he's activating it, I get hit out of it, I get jump kicked out of it, I get jump punched out of it, I get just casually combo stringed out of it. So honestly, it is kind of a balanced move at this point. 41 startup, 25 recovery. So I would say, yeah, it is kind of a balanced ability compared to the ground ice one. Now, creeping ice is a great move. I'm pretty sure this is a viable tournament variation move because it's a balanced move. It doesn't do that much damage, as you can see. It creates the distance, pull out the Arctic Trap. It goes perfectly. Honestly, these two abilities go perfectly for a third variation. It is a balanced move as well, because in two ways it's balanced. Number one, there's a big gap when you cancel a combo string into it. So if I was to cancel these two attacks into this, there's a big gap there that you can actually be interrupted from. That's one reason why. Another reason, it does not connect with an overhead in the corner. It doesn't connect with an overhead, so if you get hit, of course, from the overhead, and you're blocking low after it, you don't get comboed. So that's another reason, and the last reason is because the damage is the damage is very much low. There is low damage when you use this attack in the corner. So let's get a casual combo with an attack that we know gets less damage. Okay, 304, right? Back 2 scales the damage. So let's see the creeping ice. .340. That's like only 4% more from the back 2. So it does make damage a lot less. Trust me, it does. I've used it before. Now, the dangerous thing about this is the Arctic Trap in the corner. Look at that. It's not that much damage, but I think NetherRealm is going to work on the damage before they release this. Imagine getting, I don't know, caught like this in an online match. I think the damage might be worked on, and if not, that'd be great if it isn't worked on, but I think it should be worked on. And when I say it should be worked on, it should be a lot less damage.